Welcome to Build the Weight Loss Practice of Your Dreams. I'm your host, Karol Clark, and we are breaking down this month into looking at how to make the most of December and prepare for a wonderful 2022 in your weight loss practice. And although we're talking about December, really this can be done anytime throughout the year. In fact, as quickly as things change, oftentimes we have to revisit our planning process. So it can be applicable at any time. But so far we've talked a bit about some of those excuses in December we may use, figuring that really it's a month that everyone's too busy, we can't get much accomplished, it's a time to just slow down, it's a time no one's thinking about weight loss, there's no time to acquire new patients, and the ones that we have are really too busy, and that's why it's a slow month. And we can myth bust those, and that's what we did in week 1. And then we talked about your personal productivity, because before you do your planning, you really do need to take a look at yourself and also encourage your team to do the same. Take a look at where you're being the most effective, where you're being the most ineffective. How is your team arranged? Really, what is happening from a productivity standpoint? Do you have the systems in place to help support growth in your practice? A lot of these things all relate back to our personal productivity, because sometimes as leaders, we can be the bottleneck in our business. We can be the person holding the business back, or we're moving so fast that we never really give people time to catch up and really give sort of that big picture and put systems in place so people feel as if they can take on the next big thing. So that personal productivity is a big item that we need to come to terms with. So we addressed that last week. And this week, we are talking a bit about some more introspection about what it brings you joy and what frustrates you the most. And many people can write this off, but anytime that I have ever felt frustrated in business, I go back to this, what's bringing me joy and what's bringing me my most frustration, because we want to be enjoying what we do every day. You spend a lot of time with the people that you work with, and you want to bring out the best in your team and also provide those outcomes that your patients desperately need. So help guide them along in that process. Sometimes we can get out of structured training. So perhaps in medical school, as a resident, nursing school, graduate school, and we learn how to do things. And we get out and we think that's the only way you can do it. And it's not until you kind of really evaluate what's bringing you joy and what frustrates you that you can really make things work so that you're getting the outcomes for your patients, but you're also creating something that you're very proud of and that brings you joy every day. So when you get out of bed, you're not dreading going into the office. It's something that really can be sparked by creativity. And some of that starts when you sit down and you take a look at your joys and your frustrations. So what is bringing you joy? Is it your practice? Is it your patients? Is it your team? Is it your home life? Is it the time, your schedule that you've created for yourself? What is it that's really making you the happiest in your life with regards particularly to business, but you can also, of course, look at it from a personal perspective. And then what's bringing you the biggest frustrations? Are you just not seeing where you're getting somewhere? Are you the best kept secret? Do you feel like you're spending money on lots of different marketing tactics and none of them are bringing patients in your door? Do you feel like patients just really aren't following the program and so they're not seeing the outcomes? Are you seeing that sales is a problem in your office and it's too difficult and there's lots of ways to make that easier? So we want to take a peek at what is the most frustrating thing in your practice. It might be that you don't have the systems set up to support growth. You don't have the systems to support onboarding new team members. All those things play into a well-oiled machine at your practice. So when you go in there, you and your patients know what to expect. You can still have all the personality in the world, but you have those systems in place so that you know things are running smoothly. And when something comes up, you're not constantly putting out fires and creating new systems. You're just tweaking the ones that you have. So look at what's bringing you joy and look at what is bringing you frustration. During the same period of time, I do encourage you to take a look at the past year. So often we're always looking at what's wrong in our practice or in our lives, and we're not looking at what did we really accomplish and really feeling gratified about that, because that helps fuel your ability to move on, stay creative, make sure that you're moving forward in the way that you want to, or maybe you're so busy you want to cut back. I mean, I'm working with practices that have that issue too. And they're realizing that they want a little bit more personal time. So there is no right or wrong reason, but it does come from severe introspection. So you want to take some time. I guess severe was a strong word, but I do want you to take the time find out where it is that you can have that introspection. For me, I love to go to Lake Gaston. I can think really clearly there. A lot of times I don't have the distractions. I like to go in our sun porch here and really think things through. There's lots of different areas where I feel like I can think and really identify where it is for you. But taking the time to identify, like I say, your joys, your frustrations, take a look at what really went well this year and what you want to continue, what made you feel really good. Sometimes I have to remind myself throughout the year to write down what really went well during the year. So at the end of the year, I can look back on it and remind myself of all the things that were accomplished and share that with my team and celebrate it together. So we want to make sure that we do this before we sit down to do a big plan for the next year. And we're going to get into the nitty gritty of that next week. We are deep diving in Bariatric Business Boss and definitely with one-on-one clients. I do the same process when I do blueprints with people. It's a matter of taking a look at all the different systems in your practice, which ones are working really well, which ones aren't, what's bringing you joy, what's not, what do you want to change? And then we dig in and make it happen. So it's something that is can be a lot of work. Definitely, but we're not afraid of hard work. And it's something that can bring exponential joy and set you up for continued success in the future. So that's the podcast for today. If you want the free download that goes with the podcast that covers all these 4 weeks, the planning, every aspect that I've talked about, just go to weightlosspracticebuilder.com/free. You can get it there. And in Bariatric Business Boss, of course, I've got resources in there for you and also our one-on-one time together. And I hope this has been helpful. Remember, just because we were trained to do something one way or you've always done it one way, sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And we can discover new ways to do things that bring us much more joy. And I think if that's one thing the pandemic has taught us, is that, and we need to watch this trend for our patients too, people are looking more at not just their physical health, but their emotional health and what it is that they're doing and if it's bringing joy and if they're making a difference and making some changes. And I know I have adult children, 4 of them. And then when we talk about careers and jobs and that sort of thing, really having that sense of satisfaction and happiness has to be a part of it. And I want that for them. It took me way too long to figure that out. And it's something that can not only, it won't deter you from what you want to do, it actually fuels you to be actually better as a person and also as a leader and as somebody who's guiding the health of others. So I hope this has been helpful. Reach out to me if I can help. Karol, Karol at weightlosspracticebuilder.com. Get that free resource, weightlosspracticebuilder.com/free. And I will talk to you soon. Have a great day.